As we wrap up the first week of school, we're taking a look at what you had to say about Clark County School District schools. Thank you for joining us here at 6. I'm Dana Wagner.
And I'm Latoya Silman. We asked for your feedback on our back to school survey to hear about the issues that matter to you most. And more than 150 people responded. From teachers to parents, community members, and other staff. Crisis in the Classroom investigative reporter Tiffany Lane breaks down some of the big issues important to you and what the district is doing to address them.
For the last 2 weeks, we've been asking your thoughts on the school year. The survey was completely anonymous, and one of the areas we discussed was safety. Now, I asked parents if they feel their child will be safe on campus. Now, I asked the same question of staff, and both answered with about 63% saying that they believe schools will be safe, with 37% responding no, they don't believe so. But here are the concerns I did hear when it comes to safety. My school is completely unsafe and easily accessible, one person said. Another commented, make sure that all schools have only one entrance into the building. And that brings up the issue of single point of entries, something every school will be getting. One middle school principal says so far is working on his campus.
Very important that we only have a single point of entry as well, and that ensures that students are coming in one way, going out one way, so we know if they're on campus or not.
I asked CCSD Superintendent Joan Ebert why it's taking longer for some schools than others to implement this. Here's what she had to say.
Being the 5th largest school district in the nation, 374 schools, there's a priority, no, I shouldn't say priority, there is a list, right? Those schools that have been identified with multiple access points were being addressed first, and we continue to move forward. Our chief of facilities has done an amazing job in making sure that the school communities understand where they are on the list.
Student discipline was another major concern brought up when it comes to safety, and that includes how bullying is being addressed on campuses. I asked people if they believe bullying is a big issue at schools. Now take a look at this. A whopping 72% of you are saying yes, it is a big issue, while 28% of you are saying no, it's not the case. And then you responded with comments demanding, quote, appropriate discipline by administration regarding disruptive students who are interrupting learning and safety of other students. I took this concern to Superintendent Ebert as well. Can there be stricter procedures put in place when it comes to student discipline?
The governor did sign a bill last legislative session that did specifically have the removal of students from classrooms by the teacher. What wasn't in legislative in NRS prior was that the teacher actually made those determinations on how to work with administration for a student if they need to be removed. So if that is still transpiring, they definitely, again, need to go to the principal.
Now here's another big topic repeated more than anything in the survey. Veteran teachers say they're on a different pay scale from those teachers new to the district, and they're getting paid less even though they have more experience. Now here's the good news. There's a tentative new teacher contract between the Clark County Education Association, or CCEA, and CCSD that addresses that exact issue. It includes a salary review and adjustment process that certain veteran teachers can request.
There will need to be verification across because even I've spoken with some people that say I should be placed on X or Y. All of that is going to need to be verified. So that's going to take some time once the contract is signed.
Now that contract will be voted on by CCSD trustees during a special meeting on Tuesday, so Latoya will definitely be there for that, and we're hoping to have some teachers there too to be able to speak with them and see what they think about that new contract.
Yeah, and you had a number of issues and questions that you asked people about. What are some of the other concerns you saw?
Yeah, Latoya, there were a lot of comments about large class sizes. That's an important one because it has an impact on student learning. But then we also had people who were talking about concerns about ICE activity in the community, how school districts will respond to that, what the district is saying. So that's another big one that we're really diving into. But the survey is still up, so we still want to hear from people. It doesn't have to be just back to school, but throughout the school year to see what they have to say so then I can take it to the district leaders.
Yeah, I love the fact that it's a living document and mentioned that we can always get a pulse of the people when we're asking them these questions. And so you can stay on top of it, and we know that you will. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, as Tiffany mentioned, the tentative negotiated agreement between CCSD and the teachers union will be discussed. This will happen next week on Tuesday. Now, that was supposed to originally be addressed yesterday, but officials say the district needed to format the agreement to ensure that all documentation was correct and to calculate the fiscal impact of tentative agreements before posting it. Now, the law says that must happen at least 3 days before the meeting. During last night's meeting as well, a report was shown to the Board of Trustees highlighting progress with teacher recruitment, reducing teacher vacancies, and also retaining licensed educators. The presentation focused on implementing a recruitment plan, developing a district brand to help with retention, and also decreasing employment application processing time. Now, they feel it will help improve student success within the district. Despite the Clark County School District having the lowest number of teacher vacancies in years, there are a number of open positions for special education teachers. In fact, there are about 320 current classroom vacancies. 163 of them are special education positions. People who responded to our survey say that's pretty much a big concern for them. In fact, 54% of the people who responded say there are not enough resources.
Making sure that we have licensed educators in our special education classes is our first barrier to making sure that the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act is basically fully fulfilled for those children. They have federal protections and rights to having a free and appropriate education in the least restrictive environment. And so when we don't meet the goals of filling those particular spots, it becomes an issue not just for the education of the students, but the safety and well-being of staff and other students as well.
It's important to note that there are students with different needs in these classes, varying from speech therapy, autism to behavioral disabilities, and there are requirements in their education that legally have to be met. Anna Marie Binder, who you just heard from, is hopeful that the new leadership this year can fill more of these positions. Another big topic on our survey, traffic safety. This continues to be top of mind for many after the tragic death of a student named Mackenzie Scott. It happened near Arborview High School last year. Some of you commented on our survey that traffic safety is concerning. In fact, one person said parents during drop-off and pickup, they have zero regard for their child's safety or the safety of others. They allow their children to run across the opposite side of the road to get to school. They stop in the middle of the street and oftentimes make illegal U-turns. Another person posted, in addition to school crossing guards, I think every crosswalk in front of every school should be a four-way stop. Force cars to come to a stop. CCSD Police Lieutenant Brian Zink addressed traffic safety earlier this week.
For the first 2 weeks of the school year and the last 2 weeks of the school year, it's all hands on deck with every single jurisdiction throughout Clark County. We have meetings where we discuss traffic issues, concerns, and then we all come together and figure out a plan to where we can all have as many officers out on the streets as possible.
Now, we've been hearing and asking for your feedback for your school concerns, and you can still weigh in, as you heard Tiffany say earlier. Just scan the QR code that's on your screen. You can weigh in on important back-to-school issues. Your responses will be used to hold officials accountable and address your concerns throughout the year.